Now this week's top 5 is top 5 aquarium brands. Now, obviously disclaimer, there's so many aquarium brands out there, and I guess some mentions. Some of them that's not going to be said in this video, like Red Sea and stuff like that, like brands like that. I know they're really good. It's just I kind of made a list of like the more like really well-known brands and a lot of freshwater. So it's kind of my opinion and stuff I've used. So it's not the most accurate, but you can kind of get an idea. But I guess starting number 5 on our list is Marineland. And Marineland, obviously this tank's Marineland. This whole kit is Marineland. Um, the reason that number 5 is because a lot of their stuff isn't that great. Like their heaters, they're not the best. I mean, they can fail. They have fail problems all the time. And I am replacing this. This one's about a year old. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just they're not very accurate. Like if you set the temperature a certain way, sometimes it's a couple degrees off, and they're never like I don't know. They're just never that good. But they do have good stuff like the Maxi Jet and stuff. So and their penguin well they're just hang on the back filters. Their canisters, I heard they're pretty good. So there's no hate on those. But like the hang on the back filters, obviously, I just had one in this tank. They're good for stuff in media, but overall the filter's not really built well, and there's always stuff wrong with their brand. So that's for it from Greenland. But number 4. Now I ain't gonna try to pronounce it because I sound stupid every time. But you guys know this brand, very well known, and I've used their heaters and filters. Filters, it's just like Greenland. They could be better. I mean they still use cartridges, and it's just like it's just, I mean, if you take everything out and kind of customize they can be alright. Especially they have those really good UV sterilizer filter. It's expensive, but I heard the self-priming one. They have some pretty good filters. I ain't gonna lie. But not everything about their brand. They're not. I mean, they do have one of the best heaters. Like their heaters are actually. You never hear people complain about their heaters or really any of their filters failing. So it's just a lot of their stuff is like premium. Like their filters aren't like the best out there. So that's why they're kind of lower on the rank. And just their lights. Their lights. I mean, a lot of them can go plants like, but they're not like their products aren't like the top notch and best out there. Coming at number 3 is API. Now API doesn't make a lot of like. Also, back to the other thing, their tanks are pretty good too. That their tanks are they're good, but some of them another reason why they're kind of down is because their ta- their tanks sometimes people I've heard leaks come out of those tanks, but overall that's why they're kind of a little bit down. But yeah, back to number 3, API. API, they're not really. Obviously, they don't make any um, filters or tanks. I'm pretty sure. I feel like they do make a filter, but it's not like some major. But the reason they're so high, but it's mostly just their chemicals and stuff. Obviously, their chemicals they have almost everything for your tank when it comes to chemicals. Obviously, I use Aqua Clear, which I have a big ball that I love that stuff. Their chemicals, there's nothing bad about any of their chemicals. All the chemicals mostly work like 90% of the time. So I mean, you never hear people complain about a lot of API products not working. If they're not working, it's most likely because you're not using it right. But API, they've never really failed on people. I mean, they have some chemicals that are kind of but like everything they have at API is pretty solid. So that's why they're at number 3. But number 2 is Fluval. Now this would be my number 1, but it's because of other people of what they've said. That's why they kind of put it down. But Fluval, obviously, I love Fluval. It's my number 1. Like when it comes to aquarium stuff, this light's Fluval. I got the Aqua Sky. Got 2 Aqua Clear Fluval 50s. I'm eventually gonna replace this for the Fluval M series heater. So this tank's gonna be all Fluval soon. Fluval, their filters are obviously great. The FX6, FX6, I mean FS, FX4, and then their smaller canisters like the 106, 206, 306, and 406. I don't know if there's a 406, but you guys know what I'm talking about. All those are great filters. I mean, you never hear complaints from those filters, and obviously their hang-on backs is they're the best. I mean, I'm about to make a top 5 hang on the back filters, and you already know what's gonna be number 1. Actually, maybe not, but they're gonna be in the very top. But the lights on Fluval, they don't have a lot. They don't have a lot of lights like that can like they have some saltwater lights. I don't think they can grow much coral. They're I've never heard complaints about them, but I heard they just can't grow every coral. But the freshwater for plant growth, I know their plant 2.0 is pretty good. I don't know. I've never heard anything like not growing plants at all. So, but this light just for fish, and this can actually grow plants too. The one I have, because I actually have plants in here. This one's very solid light for $100. So, every Fluval product really is. I mean, their circulation pumps. I mean, now they got some food. I mean, all that stuff's really solid. I mean, even their tanks. I know they have their nano tanks are very good. Everybody loves their nano tanks. I mean, I'm about to get one. Their saltwater tanks sets that you guys will know what I'm talking about. They have those rimless tanks they have out. They have those really nice stands. I forget what they call those series of tanks. But they'd be coming out with all those saltwater series tanks, and they'd be coming out a lot of that newer tank nano tank that came out 10 gallons has the front side to bottom side bow front. So I mean they've been coming out with a lot of good tanks. They keep getting better and better. So yeah, that's review about Fluval. And then number 1, in my opinion, is Seachem. Now Fluval would be above them, which I say it's kind of a tie because like Seachem doesn't really make like tanks or anything as I know of, or like lights, which they might do. I don't know, but they're it's mostly known for their chemicals, and they do make a hang on the back filter now, which is why they're ranked higher. They've got up so high on the list is because obviously they're hanging on the back filter. Honestly, they're just as good as the Aquaclears, but they kind of are a bit better just for the features they have, like the skimmer and everything, and the self-priming. So their filter would probably go above Aquaclear just by 1 spot. But Seachem, their chemicals, I mean, they have the best. I mean, you ask somebody what chemicals they use, they most likely have all Seachem. I mean, we go in my drawer. I mean, Seachem, 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 Seachem. I mean, they're honestly the best. I mean, when it comes to everybody uses their conditioner, I mean, most people do. Their stability works great. Their clarity, obviously, I had some problems with it, but I know it works. And flourish. I mean, there's so many you can name. I mean, you guys know all the chemicals they have. They have tons, and not a lot of the chemicals are like terrible. I mean, it's just like API. Like you never hear a lot of complaints. I mean, API could be up there when it comes to chemicals. When it comes to chemical side of aquariums, API and Seachem are about best as you can get for freshwater. But Seachem, their brand, they're you could tell. I mean, they're really into the aquarium hobby. They care. I I feel like a lot of these brands are really slacking, like Marine Land. I mean, I feel like they just really don't care no more. They just want the money, which I don't know. I know in past years they just slack off like how they build their products and just like they're just not as good as they used to be. But Seachem, it still seems like they're trying to get better. Not trying to get better, but trying to be even better as they already are. With coming out with the filter, This, it had to be last year now. 2016 is when it came out, pretty sure. But yeah, that's my top 5. Obviously, honorable mentions like Red Sea, but that's saltwater side. I kind of want to stay in the freshwater, even though a lot of these are freshwater too. I mean, saltwater. But but I guess I could do a saltwater, but there's really no point. I mean, these are kind of like the best, no, just the really well-known brands that everybody usually knows. So yeah, that's my top 5 aquarium brands. Comment, like, subscribe. Put it in the comments if you think there's another brand that I missed that should have been like in this list. But yeah, comment, like, subscribe, get in that giveaway, and peace.